All right, we're back and ready to go here, continuing with the DCUO Legends Tournament at SOE Live. We are now into the quarterfinals. We've got some really good teams left. Right now we're going to get to Bryce Allen and Jason Todd versus Nalarose and Kristen Stewart. Should be an interesting match. Bryce and Jason have a combined total ranking in Legends PvP of 4982. So that's fairly high. And Nalarose, Kristen Stewart looking at a combined 2456. So it looks like we have a bit of an underdog kind of situation here, but I have seen things go in surprising directions in Legends PvP. So let's see what we get. All right, so here we are. We got Nalarose on the screen right now as Catwoman, climbing up the wall, scaling it, trying to get to the front of the node where Bryce is.
Hello!
Oh, sorry, I am actually there
I will bring order where the
Nalarose.
Guardians have failed.
Show me what you've got.
Oh, nice
All
use
four-
of stealth.
Yes, I agree. And all four players on the front node here. Kristen actually moving off to try and give a hand with Bryce Allen, getting up a little bit of points. So our first score goes to Fami here. Just a few points, only 29 coming off the scoreboard there. Bryce getting really low. Actually, first kill goes to, second kill. We already had a knockout up top with Bryce Allen. And Nalarose going down, keeping it even.
No respawn time. That's gonna
Go over to check out and follow Jason Todd, who's getting really low on health, trying to fight off Kristen Stewart and survive, but he does enough damage so that Bryce can hopefully finish off Kristen. Kristen Stewart going down. Bryce, last man standing here on the node, joined by Nalarose, following the action now from Bryce's point of view. Nice counter by Catwoman.
Catwoman was able to read the hold, even though Bryce was clipping him.
Now she's playing it kind of risky here. She's definitely using that backflip to give up some possible points on the node, but it seems to have served her pretty well. She's actually gotten Bryce down pretty low on health.
Yeah, Bryce is going to have to... Ooh.
Oh, he goes down. Nice job by Nalarose. Kristen Stewart here following the action now, playing Bizarro. Going 2-on-1 with Jason Todd. Nala getting very low. Bryce joining the fray. All four players on the front node.
I was worried I'd have to take the night off.
Number one!
See Jason do...
Don't kiss and run.
And Nalarose goes down. Long spawn time for her as well. 8 seconds.
Top of his
Crush
Pola.
with kindness!
Against an almost full Bryce, who takes him down with the claw.
Let's go over and check out Bryce's point of view here, hanging out on that front node, waiting for the respawn. Jason Todd working his way over, doing some barrel hunting, sitting in the back there. Looks like he's going to offer some support as soon as the other team gets there. Uses the zip line with the barrel in his hand to close on that front node quickly. Smashes the barrel. All four players in a big melee here. Nalarose unleashing some of her whip attacks from Catwoman, but it's not helping out. She can't seem to fend off the storm from Nightwing. Kristen Stewart going down. Nalarose soon to follow. Both members getting knocked out. Fami actually in control here, holding both nodes. Points ticking off the board.
Yeah, it looks like Jason's going barrel hunt.
Foregoing a few points, using the zip line very effectively to get back and forth between that barrel and the node. Hanging out there, scoring points. See if he chooses to throw or to smash. Uses the zip line again. He likes that. It's a practice move.
It is a great way to get from place to place.
Let's look at the action from Nalarose's perspective. Little Catwoman here.
So Catwoman, popping her smoke bomb. That's going to prevent some damage and reflect some damage back.
Good counter there. Puts her down. Oh, health just bleeding away quickly under the onslaught of Sinestro and Nightwing. Let's check it out from Bryce Allen's perspective here. Bryce going one-on-one, up 2-on-1 on the front node. Jason and Bryce very low. Sinestro popping the cola. Both of them chasing Kristen to the back node there.
Oh,
actually,
nice
that encasement didn't work out too well as they scored some points as Kristen rolled back down onto the node. All right, let's see. We got 429 to 804.
As
Very
Jason
close match.
goes down. But no respawn time. That's going to help out a little bit.
Nala camping on the front node, waiting for the respawn again. Here comes Bryce, first one out. Catwoman is just brutal with her combos. You can do a lot of cool clipping with her attacks too.
Yeah, she's her whip and her cat scratch are both very, very damaging cone attacks, but they are blockable, so they're a little risky to use.
Going over to Kristen's perspective here as he and Nala Rose work on Jason Todd. Jason holding on with very little health, getting some key counters off on Bizarro and puts him down. Bryce Allen coming into the action from his perspective now. Jason also knocked out in that fight. Looks like it's pretty even at the start between Nala and Bryce. She got out of there with a lot of health. That was really helpful. Oh, unleashing some killer combos here against Sinestro.
Yeah,
but a 2-on-1 situation.
So see, Nala will probably wait until she gets the counter to do that whip, because that means she cannot be countered while she has a counter immunity. So that is a perfect time for Catwoman to unleash.
All right, moving over to the action from Jason Todd's perspective. His partner Bryce knocked out. Nala very low on health, but Kristen camping the node while Jason is on the outside trying to desperately hold off Nala with some blocks. Gets countered, does the backflip. Nala using the stealth. Bryce coming in, likely to finish her off. Yep, they're down. Now it's a 2-on-1 situation. Kristen low on health, and Fami comes out with both of them surviving, but a very short spawn timer, 0 on it. Looks like Jason's going to get the barrel, zip line back. Nope, back to the back node, trying to score some points since the other team isn't up there yet.
Probably going to wait and see what goes down. Yeah, so it's going to be a 2-on-1 on the front node.
Let's check out the action from Kirsten Stewart's perspective. Playing Bizarro right now. Brawling character. Working behind Jason and Bryce.
I am the
avoiding the
greatest
counter
ring bearer.
from Jason. Oh, amazing exchange.
With both of them just hanging on. And wow,
oh, 3 deaths. Last one standing. Let's go take it from Nala's perspective. She actually does the interact on Jason Todd. Takes him a little while to, sorry, on Bryce Allen. Takes him a little longer to get up there. Both family members coming back up.
Nala was able to get almost to full health before the enemy came back. This could be helpful.
Nala zooming her camera way out to get a good view of the battle. Taking a lot of damage. Takes the knockout. Let's go over to Jason's perspective here. He's down to about 2/3 health. Working on Kristen Stewart with Bryce Allen. Bryce getting rather low under Kristen's assault with Bizarro. Doing that stomp slam, but goes down again. Fami again wiping out both characters, or both players on the other team, scoring on both nodes. 142 to 530. This one's going to wrap up soon, it looks like, unless Kristen and Nala Rose can hold on somehow and turn this around.
We have two very, very aggressive players making very short work of Bryce being very, very careful with his combos, trying to not get blocked by Bizarro, because he knows Bizarro is looking for any opportunity to get a counter off, which is going to buy him just a few seconds.
Regardless, Kirsten, playing Bizarro, does take out Bryce to score some good points. They really can't afford a lot of deaths here. It's going to tick 40 points off, which it just did right there. Oh, and Nala Rose, but keeping Jason on the outside and making up some ground, scoring a little points, but eating that block breaker.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. That might be the end of her.
Ooh, nice
read
run
from the back. You were not going to get that charge back.
Backflips out of the way, and Kristen wants revenge, comes in and takes out Jason Todd.
That was a great end.
A little bit of show at the end there, but all for naught. Jason Todd, Bryce Allen advancing to the next round. Good job to Nala Rose and Kristen Stewart. Very, very good match. All right, so let's take a look at our board here. We have our first semi-final seed going in there with Bryce and Jason advancing to that round. They're going to be facing the winner of Eminence Smile versus Comrade Zeus and Spider Sting. Should be a very good match coming up. What do you think about the competition so far?
It's been pretty intense. I mean, some great matches out there. Seen a lot of different characters.
Yeah.
It's been good.
I'm really impressed with both the acrobats and the flyers that I've seen so far. The flight using that supersonic to get back up to those nodes really quickly. But man, I was impressed by Jason Todd's use of the zip line and the rocket-assisted glide. Not only to get out of that spawn zone, but to really make use of that barrel hunting that he was doing there.
That's right. Yeah, zip line is great for anytime you have walls available, right? It's going to be one of the faster ways to get around. I mean, supersonic is fast, but zip line's actually a little bit faster.
I'm curious if these guys are going to be sticking with their characters all the way through, if they're going to start making some adjustments as they feel out the field, getting toward the semifinals and the final.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I know. A lot of these guys spend a lot of time practicing in the weeks coming up to this tournament with very specific characters, so it'll be interesting to see how set they are in their ways.
Yeah, I'm going to predict they're probably going to stay with their old standby.
I probably would too.
Money's on the line, you know?
You'd kick yourself if you're like, why did I switch over to Two-Face at the wrong time? All right, so really good matchup here. We have our teams getting ready, setting up their characters, just adjusting their names here to make it a better viewing experience for you. We will get the next matchup to you in just a second. Looks like it's going to be Daddio and Mathalos versus Zikarak and Super Toad. Zikarak and Super Toad actually knocked off last year's second place contestant, Christiana. Yeah, he played with Soar. His partner Mutton Chops couldn't make it to Sir Mutton Chops couldn't make it to the event this year, so Soar very kind enough to step in. Both those guys are on our community council, so it seems like they had each other's back there.
Yeah, yes indeed.
All right, very cool. We'll see who they're going to choose to play here in just a few minutes. Again, if you're just joining us, this is the SOE Live DCUO Legends Tournament here in Las Vegas. We have $6,000 on the line. First place teams will be splitting, let's see, what is it? It's the third place teams actually split $1,000. Second place teams split $2,000. The first place team split $3,000.
It's a lot of money.
A lot of money on the line here.
A lot of money on the line and a lot of gambling to be done after.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Put it in the college fund.
That's right. So probably the better investment.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I think you know, I haven't seen pretty much like we're seeing a lot of Sinestro in these matches, a lot of Bizarro in these matches. A couple of the Bat family members between Nightwing and Huntress for sure. Not as many Banes as I thought I would see.
Yeah, we saw one Bane. We saw a couple of Steels earlier too.
Yeah, the Steels. I actually can't remember if the Steels fell. One of them I think did. There was two teams actually faced each other, each with a Steel. So again, the mode we're looking at here, or the map we're looking at, is Batcave Inner Sanctum. It is a very exciting map. It's a 2v2 map that gives you points for kills on an opponent. So if you knock out your opponent, you're going to be scoring, taking points off their board. And if you hold the various nodes, there are two of them in there, one in the front, one in the back, you'll be scoring points, very small increments as they tick off the board. So position and power coming into play here.
That's right, and the nodes are actually close enough that you can actually reach the other node and help your partner out with your range attacks.
And it's interesting. That really does kind of depend too, because if the front node or the back node, if they're fighting toward the far side of that node, it can be difficult for you to remain on there scoring points and still help your opponent. So sometimes you'll see people, if that's the case, they'll actually abandon that back or front node and join their ally to try and help them out, rather than just stand there scoring a few points, because it's not going to make a difference for a kill.
Right. If your partner's under focus fire, sometimes it's better to just say, hey, you know what? I'm going to jump in and try to end this as quickly as possible. You know. But at the same time, you can also make the choice to stay back and block break your opponent on the other side, and that puts them in a bad position, because the only thing they can do to stop you from doing that is to lunge off their node back towards you, and then they're basically giving that node up. So
let's talk a little bit about the counter mechanics as we get closer to into the quarterfinals here. So basically, we have a system where if you're blocking, you can use a range attack to break through that block in what's called a counter, right? If you are doing a ranged attack to try and break the block or just do damage against your opponent, you can be lunged, or a combo can be done against you.
Any strong melee attack
exactly
will interrupt that.
Will interrupt that, and then the strong melee attacks can be countered through the block.
Right.
So we have a triangle here, and you can see these icons over people's heads indicating what various states they're in, whether they're doing one of those charge range attacks or a strong melee attack or actually blocking. And you can see if they are broken, that red flash over their head. So that's what the tactics, that's where the tactics come into play beyond just your tray powers and you know, lighting up the stuff that you can for their super abilities. These are the weapon combo skills that come into play.
And knowledge of the weapon your opponent is using is very important, right? Because it's important to be able to anticipate what they might be doing
that
next.
Combo.
Right.
Yeah, you can see it kind of building toward that, you know, that strong melee. So you all of a sudden go into block, but you can always jump out of that and bail out of it, and the opponent can get that range attack in. Now, what's the benefit of getting these counters?
Well, when you counter, then you get a brief couple seconds of being immune to damage and crowd control. So basically, that when you're under heavy pressure from say a 2-on-1 situation, that is how you can try to stay alive for a few extra seconds to help your to wait for your partner to come and give you some relief. So,
and that's why you're seeing some of these situations where a character is surviving for a long time in these 2-on-1 matchups with very little health, because they're applying excellent counter mechanics against their opponent. They're getting that immunity for those precious seconds, and if they get another counter off, that immunity reapplies. So if you're doing skilled countering, you can actually avoid taking damage for a significant amount of time. So it's crucial that you engage in that part of the combat, as well as knowing good rotations on your powers and clipping out to do damage as fast as possible.
That's right. It's very important to be able to read what your opponent's doing, so you know what you can do to counter them.
And each of the Legends characters all feature different kinds of weapons that are available to players with their own characters in the launch game, such as martial arts or brawling or hand blasting or dual wield. And you're seeing a lot of that going on here. So there really is a lot to master. And these are some of the best players in the game for sure.
They really are. They're actually literally are some of the highest rated people from USPC and PS3 here.
Yeah, so we have basically, I believe we have 24 people from USPC and 8 from USPC PS3 here. The average, the top PC ranked player is 2,918. Okay, the top PS3 player is actually capped out at the 3,000.
That's right.
So a very small difference there between the two platforms. As far as the average team, is this? Sorry, let me ask Ted here. Hey, Ted.
Where's Ted at?
Ted. Is this average team here?
Yes.
Or on the all servers?
No, average team of the teams that entered.
The teams that entered, gotcha, and average player. Okay, so our average team is looking at 3,800 here as a total between the two of them, and the average player at 2,278. So some of these rankings might not mean a lot to some of you out there, but there is a ranking system in the game that helps to try and create better balanced matches, and as you're playing the game, your rank is changing, and it's helping you during the queuing system. And of course, we're exposing that here to you to give you an idea of just how skilled some of these players are. So who's our matchup right now? We're looking at Mathalos and Daddio, as I said, Zikarak and Super Toad on the other side. Let me check the sheet here and kind of get an idea of who might be an underdog, who might be looking like they're in a strong position. As I said, Zikarak and Super Toad, total team average or ranking of 47.55. And let's see, Mathalos and Daddio, where are they? Not on here. Mystery ranked, we just don't know.
I guess they'd be 3,000?
Oh, actually, I see it right here. Here it is. 46.57.
Oh, so very, very close.
Yeah, so really close. Only really, it's 102 point difference between these two teams in terms of their total combined rankings. So very close matchup. Daddio, one of the players on the PC, and Super Toad as well. Super Toad, member of the Revengeancers, along with his partner Zikarak, representing their league here.
Looks like Daddio is going to be playing Sinestro, and we'll see Super Toad on Bizarro. And then we'll see Mathalos on Steel and Zikarak on Sinestro.
All right, Mathalos locking in Steel. His partner locking in Sinestro there. We've got Sinestro for Zikarak. And let's see what Bizarro and bad for Super Toad. Super Toad, did you name yourself not Christiana? Oh, you had it. It was claimed. All right, I'll try and remember that. Everyone watching out there, not Christiana is actually Super Toad. Wouldn't take any Toad at all.
No Toads allowed?
No Toads allowed on the server. All right, we're going to get you right into the action here. It's 15 seconds till the match starts. I'm pretty excited about this one.
This should be pretty good.
Yep, this is to see our other seed in the semifinals. The first team to, the winner of this will go into that second bracket.
Right on.
And it's off.
All right, here we go. Right now we are following Super Toad, pairing up against Daddio on that back node. We have Mathalos and
good block
Zikarak in
record.
front. Bizarro clipping out with a brawling combo out of that ground pound. Oh, Daddio eating a block breaker there. Bizarro jumping on top of it.
Super Toad
Another
good.
block breaker
Good
from
job
Bizarro.
of reading Daddio.
Daddio on the ropes here on the back node.
But he was able to anticipate that uppercut.
Mathalos also in trouble on the front node versus Super Toad. Couple of players
very close.
converging.
2-on-1, Daddio very low.
Oh, Mathalos. Daddio coming out on top over Zikarak and Super Toad. Both of them
Submit to your
coming back
fear.
from the spawn point. Zikarak using that supersonic for Sinestro to get to the back. Pounces on Daddio, evens the score there. A little
Pedal
revenge.
to the metal, baby.
Let's head over and check out the action for Super Toad playing as not Christiana. Using Bizarro's clap, does it twice for some reason. Eats a lunge from Mathalos.
To me.
All four players on the same node. Sinestro rocking the spinning chainsaw, clipping out of it with a quick range attack. Take a look at the action from Daddio's perspective now. Each team down one man.
It looked like he was getting ready to take down Zikarak, but he popped his soda in time.
Steel and Bizarro moving in. Steel chooses to help finish off Zikarak in the front node while Super Toad moves to the back. Scored some points off the node there briefly. Let's take a look at this from Mathalos' perspective, playing Steel, working on Super Toad. Easy knockout there. Take a look at Daddio working on Zikarak up top. Sinestro versus Sinestro.
Good block by Sinestro.
It's like Earth,
Zikarak.
Earth 4 Sinestro versus Earth 16 Sinestro. Multiverse action in play here.
Anything can happen in Legends.
Yes. Oh,
Looks like
Daddio
Daddio
holding
barely
on. Super Toad's perspective now. Super Toad's starting to get really. Daddio looking at a 7-second spawn timer.
Ring bearer.
Rough times.
Yep. 723 to 785. Still very close. Oh, both players on Super Toad and Zikarak wasting some time there. Both standing on that back node.
No true terror. Yes.
Seems to be a little confusion. Breakdown of communication there. Super Toad not looking like he's going to fare too well here. Takes the knockout, loses some points for the team. Switching over to Mathalos' point of view, his partner squaring off in a 2-on-1 situation.
Good block
Now
break by-
1-on-1. Oh, interesting. Nice.
So they have both nodes.
Got
and
my
they're taking this
Sinestro's cross there. Daddio all alone waiting for Zikarak to return while Mathalos and Super Toad mixing it up on the back node there.
Submit to your fear.
Let's take a look from Zikarak's perspective. Stay with that since he's got the camera on both nodes. We can see action in the front and the back.
one. Seeing some good reads here.
Nice
Daddio
counter.
able to-
Daddio versus Zikarak here.
It's a good block break into the claws, and then as his opponent can't do anything, he's going to chainsaw.
Oh! Excellent. Short spawn time for both teams here. Both of them getting right back into the action. Bizarro making it back first there. Sinestro working his way up. We're looking at the action from Mathalos' perspective right now.
Submit to
Rolling
me.
out with Steel, popping that shield and getting to the back node.
I don't have
He's going to
time
do
for
his hammer
punks
throw
like you.
from afar and try to do some block breaks
Here it
against
comes. Yep, you're right. Oh, but he eats a lunge there.
You don't know true terror.
That cost
Yes.
him.
Bring order where the
That really
Guardians have
cost him.
failed.
Zikarak pouncing on Mathalos' strategy of trying to use Steel's range attack from the back node. Really got an advantage there for a moment and does finish it off with the knockout. Looking at 655 to 479 here. Villains down just slightly. Should be able to manage to come back. Looking at Mathalos' screen, sorry about that. He is now on his way back up with Steel here. Looks like Daddio, Super Toad and Zikaroc scoring on both nodes. Mathalos finally making it back in to contest. Zikaroc just standing on the back there, could be inching forward a little bit, maybe helping out, but spending some time enjoying the show like we are, apparently.
Burn like my power!
So is he still deploying his mines?
I will bring order
nasty,
where the
damage
Guardians
over
have
time
failed.
effect on Zikaroc.
Very long spawn timer for
Oh.
Super Toad. And his partner getting eaten away here. This is probably going to cost them some significant points,
So
but no.
He's getting some counters off. And that's
Zikaroc
keep him
holding
alive a little
on. Both players on the node could not finish him off, so that was they got the points for the kill, but they didn't get anything off either node. Let's look at the action on the back here with Super Toad versus Mathalos. Super Toad getting block broken from behind by Sinestro. Mathalos pounces on him. And Super Toad, also known as Not Cristiano in this match, taking the knockout for his team. 517 to 320. This is starting to slip away from the villains here. I think Super Toad and Zikaroc of the Revengeancers are going to need to pull out some really, really strong defenses here on the nodes, or they are going to be in trouble. Let's go back to the action from Mathalos' perspective, working on a 2-on-1 situation in the back here.
Pedal to the metal, baby.
Super Toad on fire right now. That's, I believe, from Steel's mine going off there.
Yeah, brawling versus
I don't have
two-handed.
time for
Oh,
punk
almost. I thought
Battle of the
ring
Sluggers.
I thought we were going to see a Mega Smash there for a second, but he clipped out of it. Very, very dangerous,
Oh, can Mathalos finish off Super Toad before he goes down? Block break's trying to happen. 2-on-1 here. No! All right, 1-on-1. Mathalos just barely holding on in
Watch
front of
and learn.
Zikaroc. See if Zikaroc can square off and finish this. Yes, he does. 183 to 444 with 3 minutes left.
but does not get the secure off, and a 0-second respawn for Mathalos as he comes back. Looking for a barrel off to the side, and finds one.
See if he can get back in time and where he goes with it. He heads to the back, smashes it with no one around, full health. Seems like a waste of a barrel to me. Not sure what the tactic was there.
But he is doing some successful block breaks.
I am the greatest
helping
ring
his opponent,
bearer.
but he eats a lunge there. Now that barrel kicking in, but it's
I
going to
don't think
fade.
so.
Zikaroc coming to the back,
Burn
eating the
like
mine that
my
Steel
power.
placed there. A little bit of a dot going on, pushes him off the node, but he can't quite claim it before the score. Zikaroc
Brutal.
actually going down. Mathalos with a commanding display there. Makes up for that barrel flub for sure. Look at the range attacks to help out his opponent on the front. Both of them scoring on both nodes now. This is it right here. That was it. Good job. Daddio and Mathalos knocking off Zikaroc and Super Toad from the Revengeancers. Excellent match.
Very, very good match.
Yeah, good match.
They get very, very closely ranked teams, too.
All right, I like that one. That was good. That was really good. All right, we're going to take a look at the bracket here. We have Zikaroc and Super Toad getting eliminated. Daddio and Mathalos moving on to the end slot there. We'll find out who they face between Slob and Buzzworthy versus Kuhuroi and Crazy Kid. I honestly will put my team on, or my money on the #1 seeded team, Slob and Buzzworthy.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, they Slob again, last year's one of last year's champions, along with Haiwan. Very heavily favored here. And now on the bottom, we're probably which match is next here, guys? We doing the Eminent Smile and Comrade Zeus? Yeah, we're doing Eminent Smile, Comrade Zeus, and Spider Sting. Should be a good match as well. Let's take a look at some of the rankings here. Or did you want to take a break? Okay. All right, let's take a look at some of the rankings coming up in this match. So, Eminence.
Eminence. That's right.
Ranking right now, 3,000.
He is a scary man.
At the cap.
I'd like to.
His partner, Smile, 2627.
Two
So,
very, very high ranked. I mean,
combined
2600
score,
is extremely good.
56-27.
Is as high as you can get. So.
very, very, very good. Well above the average team rating here, which is 384, and both players well above the average player rating as well at 2200. Now we're looking at Comrade Zeus and Spider Sting. Comrade with a 2300 in Legends, his rating, and Spider Sting a 21. So combined score there of 4470. Definitely looking at an advantage for Eminence and Smile here if you're looking just on paper.
That would be the tail of the paper, so to speak.
Exactly, but you know, as we saw
Anything
last
can
time
happen in
around,
Vegas.
even though it was a slight advantage for Zikarak and Super Toad, Daddio, Mathalos pulling that out, advancing to the next round. So it should be good. Should be good. I'm looking forward to this match. Both teams getting ready right now, setting up their characters, and let's take a break for a moment while they do that. Give everybody a minute to catch their breath. Be right back. we go. All right, welcome back. We are joining a match about to start here. 20 seconds before the clock starts, we're looking at Smile and Eminence versus Comrade Zeus and Spider Sting. Should be a very interesting match. We gave you their breakdown and their ratings before. Match about to start. Here we go. So we have a Steel and a Sinestro and versus Steel and John Stewart. And it looks like Smile and Eminence both getting hung up under the lip of that bridge there, trying to get up to the spawn points.
I will bring
Following
order
the action
where the
right here
Guardians have
from
failed.
Smile's perspective. Going one-on-one versus Comrade Zeus on the front node. Steel versus Hal Jordan. Both trying to block each other. Blocks happening in each direction. Both trying to get off the block breaker, and Comrade Zeus successful in doing that. Also using a good block against that slow two-handed smash by Steel. Steel finally turning it around, getting Comrade down a little lower. Oh, Steel pulling out, Smile pulling out the victory in the front. Both players for Eminence and Smile now occupying nodes. Let's take a look at Eminence on the back here, waiting for the other team to return. He is met in the back by Spider Sting. Apparently he did not want any more of Smile at the front.
And yep, we saw a good block there by Eminence. And a good read by Eminence.
Yeah, really turning this fight around on the back here. See if he can get off another counter. No, he was not able to survive that. Let's look at the action on the front here. Looking at Comrade Zeus taking on Smile. Comrade able to finish him off. Spider Sting and Comrade Zeus both on the nodes here. Spider Sting putting down a mine as Steel. Pops it off on Eminence as he comes in as Sinestro, who's now on fire, taking those dot damages. Steel getting off the shield there. A little bit of a stun happening. He's able to use his trinket to pop out of it. Or actually, sorry, a breakout.
And it looked like Spider Sting and Comrade Zeus out of power. And that was the end of Comrade Zeus.
Comrade Zeus going down, but he had a very short spawn window there, getting right back into the fight. Taking his time, no supersonic there. Get over to the Comrade Zeus on the back here, calling in the helicopter strike with John Stewart. 2-on-1 situation for him on the front node.
Going for the block, but doesn't help.
Spider Sting finally making it here. Stays on that front node to help contest it, because Comrade Zeus was on the outside lip. Both those members of Eminence and Smile had some scoring opportunities there with Comrade pinned on the outside. And Steel making a huge difference on the outside there, taking out both guys. Incredible. Awesome turnaround. That was looking really grim for Comrade and until Spider Sting got up there. Excellent teamwork.
There's a lot of numbers going down.
Laying down the mine again. Eminence coming in, stepping right on it. Ooh, interesting move by Spider Sting. Actually plants the mine in the back, leaves Eminence on that back node on fire, who then catches up and joins him here. All four players on the front.
And we got a 2-on-1.
Let's see if Spider Sting can hold on again.
He is taking a lot of damage.
A lot of damage, out of power and out of health. Comrade Zeus coming back in. The other team splitting up, heroes splitting up onto both nodes, but scoring a few extra points on that back before coming and trying to get a 2-on-1 situation. Comrade Zeus just obliterating Smile right now. Oh, yep. Let's see if he can hold on. No, block break for the knockout. Let's take a look from Spider Sting's perspective. Getting low on health after getting a knockout on the other team there. Eminence, last one standing. Sorry, jumping around a little bit there. There we go. Comrade Zeus coming in.
And they're going to have both nodes for just a second.
Using the baseball bat. Getting a block broken. Comrade Zeus read that perfectly.
Yeah. See Spider Sting making it a 2-on-1 for a second.
A lot of node rotation going on here. This is great to watch. A couple of extra points getting scored before they come in and converge on the other team. Comrade Zeus just making his way back up after the knockout, trying to help out his ally who popped the soda cola to stay alive after getting the knockout 2-on-1 situation.
No respawn time for Eminence.
For Spider, Sting, and Comrade. Spider getting really low. Takes the knockout.
And Eminence is going to try to finish off Zeus, who reads the block, reads the lunge coming in. Launches in with the baseball bat, the gloves.
Classic yellow Lancer, Sinestro Corps versus Green Lantern there. Yellow versus green.
Spider's been taking a second to employ mine, and that takes out Eminence.
Both Steels fighting in between the nodes. Clearly settling a grudge match here. I'm the real Steel. No, I'm the real Steel. Nice block counter by Spider Sting. Smile getting overrun by Comrade and Spider Sting right now. Finally joined by his partner, able to take out Spider. Let's go over to Eminence's view here.
Teams have been pretty lucky so far with the respawn times. Oops, and I spoke too soon with the 8-second.
Yeah. Comrade Zeus has a long wait here. Finally back up. He actually got interacted on with the cog, so he was really slow to get up there. Good action between Sinestro versus Steel.
So Sinestro trying to bait the block out with his...
Ooh, nice block counter against Comrade Zeus. Let's see where they go from here. Eminence holding on, definitely at a health disadvantage versus Comrade Zeus right now, but he made up a huge amount of ground. Let's see if he can hold on. Oh, what a turnaround!
Sinestro burst there.
Amazing! Let's look at the action from Smile's perspective. Steel on Steel again at the back node. Smile getting the advantage there, it looked like. Actually scoring stun before Spider moved in to contest it to neutral.
And we got a 2-on-2 in the back. Whole lot of light constructs going on.
Oh, Spider just barely holding on. Smile down as well. We're looking at multiple knockouts. Who will be the last man standing? It's going to be Smile and Eminence for the victory. Nice job. They move on. Very, very well done.
That was a great match.
Yeah, that was a really
play going on there.
Really good match. That was exciting. Excellent, excellent job, guys. All right, let's take a look at the stages here. So, who we have? Bryce Allen and Jason Todd going to be going up against Smile and Eminence, it looks like, right? So that's a number 3 seed versus a number 2 seed. Interesting. And then we have the next match coming up is going to be Slob and Buzzworthy versus Kruheroy and Crazy Kid. So number 1 and number 9 seeds there. Interesting, we had a little break on Zikarak and Super Toad. We could have had a top 4, but Daddio and Mathalos pulling it out at the number 5 seed to break that sort of ladder progression in the final.
Little upset, though.
You think so? I don't know. A little upset because it's like a 100-point difference in the skill there.
That's why I said little, right?
Yeah, very little. All right, so some excellent showing so far. These guys are getting set up and ready to go, picking the characters and getting settled in at the machines. We'll take a quick break and get right back to you when the action starts. All right, we are back, and we have everybody in position. We are going to do our #1 seed versus #9 seed, Slob and Buzzworthy versus Kuroi and Crazy Kid. Got about a 1,600 point difference in the rankings here, obviously in the advantage of Slob and Buzzworthy. So let's see what we got. We got a Robin.
Batman and Robin team.
Our first Robin and future Batman and Robin, it looks like here on Crazy Kid and Corey's side. And we have Buzzworthy and playing Bane and
Sinestro.
Slob playing Sinestro. So this should be a really interesting match. Let me actually get over here to... We'll follow Robin for a little bit and see what Robin can do, hitting with the heavyweights.
Climbing up the wall.
Yep. All right, a little late to reach the
Let's go.
first node there. You can see the
Submit
action
to
from
me.
Crazy Kid's perspective. All 4 players up on that front node, trying to get the early kill and the early advantage on the node. Slob going way
Taking
low.
some damage.
You cannot oppose my might.
Oh, double counter from him to come back. Let's see if he can actually hold on. Another counter, but Slob goes down. Crazy Kid holding on. Corey both holding on. Double knockout from these two. Unbelievable. I can see the look on Slob's face right now. He looks a little confused by that. Long spawn time here for them. Both of them getting interacted on to force them to rally on very slowly.
Robin stealth from the back.
In the back,
He's
finally
gonna join.
moves up
I
after
will
scoring
bring
some
order
points.
where
Let's
the
see if
Guardians
this
have
#1
failed.
team can actually rally here. Slob really pissed, it seems, taking
Yeah.
Corey down one-on-one in the front node, moves over to help out with Buzzworthy on Crazy Kid, and it
Yikes.
is a complete turnaround in the other direction. Now the confusion on the faces on the other side of the bank of computers that I can see here. Scoring points, 867 to 800. Buzzworthy and Slob moving off the nodes to aggressively keep them toward the spawn points. Neither team scoring on the nodes here.
They're just going for the kills now.
Going for the kills. Slob working on Corey. Buzzworthy working on Crazy Kid. Now both of them, nope, they were back off the single targets, not focus firing. Now they're focus firing. Corey getting a little immunity off of a counter from Slob. And then again off of a counter from Buzzworthy.
Corey
Future
hanging on.
Batman
And
hanging
down
on
he
there.
goes.
Finally down. There we go. Moving back to the action from Slob's perspective. Using that flight lunge there. One of the cool tray powers for flyers. Usually, like Sinestro and the Kryptonians. Oh, Future Slob knocked out. Score 784, 772. Really close right now. Let's get to the action following Buzzworthy. Very low health against Corey.
Bane taking the moment to venom up. That's going to buy him a second and heal him a little tiny bit.
These guys need to get some counters off and stop giving the immunity to the other team here. Just like
Good block
that.
by Corey.
Buzzworthy
Takes
goes
down
down.
And down goes Corey.
Down goes Corey as well. Future Slob, Crazy Kid
Squaring
working
off
on
against
each other
Robin.
here.
Cannot oppose my
Future
might.
Slob scoring points with Robin just off the node. That'll make a difference in the end because both these teams are getting equal amounts of kills, it seems to me. 737 to 713. Heroes actually under 600 or 700 points now with 7 minutes left. Slob taking the back node, hanging out, watching his partner Buzzworthy work on Corey in the front. Let's get that action on Corey here. Following him now. Buzzworthy off the node, getting a nice counter off of Corey. Just out of range of Slob's range attacks, it seems. He's unable to do anything back there. Slob abandons the back node. Heads up, gets some crucial hits on Corey. Let's look at the action from Buzzworthy, just barely holding on with health here. Him and Slob working on Crazy Kid.
He's going to have to work those counters if he wants to stay alive. But that is
Yep.
a tough situation with both Bane and Sinestro.
Crazy Kid goes down as well. Excellent work from our team, our former champions team. Did you see that nice weaponization from Bane there?
That is what one of the
Corey.
things Bane can do. That rock will ground you, and that can be the worst thing to happen to you in your life. If you're
It
trying
takes
to
a
climb up the
long
wall.
time to get to the node once you get hit with that. So excellent tactics there. So watching Buzzworthy right now on the back node, joining Slob on the front, trying to both focus fire on Crazy Kid. Both of them working on Crazy Kid right now. Corey getting back into the fight. Looks like these guys are definitely out of sequence on their spawns right now.
Saw Bane trying to bait the lunge by roaring, but
Slob really low. Buzzworthy also really low. They finally get the knockout. on Corey. Buzzworthy going down. Slob knocked out. What's going to happen between Buzzworthy and Corey? Looks like Buzzworthy going to take the knockout. Corey last man standing. 352 to 652 though. They need to make up some serious ground here if they're going to pull out this victory. Excellent combo by Slob, putting Corey down, getting the immunity. Another combo again. Corey keeps eating that block. And a block breaker now. Corey down for the count. Let's look at the action from Buzzworthy's perspective.
Yeah, we're seeing that classic Bane double fist into his big AoE slams.
Oh, this is getting ugly now. This is going to be a big swing here. Finally spawn both the other teams spawning now, heading back up to the spawn points. Let's see who goes where. Future Batman, I think, Corey wanted to get to the back. I think he was kind of knocked out of the air by Buzz. Slob hanging out in the back, getting some points. Corey tries to move in, but not getting on the node, not contesting the node. Crucial points taking away. Slob well in command of the fight in the back. Let's look at the action in the front. Buzzworthy looking a little low in comparison to his partner.
Be smarter than
See what Slob does, if he'll come up and help finish Crazy Kid off. Yes, it looks like that's what's going to happen. Buzz holding on. Oh, counters all around there. And it's a wipe from the other side. Let's see what kind of... ooh, luckily, Crazy Kid with a zero time on the spawn counter, getting back up there with Corey right away. They're back in sync if he can get to the nodes.
Giant rock flying in from the back from Bane.
All 4 players on the front node.
They're doing a good job of just pushing them off.
Excellent counter. Looks like Crazy went down, and the match is over.
Good game, guys.
Wow, with a surprising start for Slob and Buzzworthy, they end up settling down and pulling off the victory. Wow.
That was a good match.
I honestly had a jaw-dropping moment at the beginning there.
Yeah, I was quite surprised. I'm like, what? Wow.
Must have had some
yeah.
freaky crits going on or something there. I don't know what happened, but that was
underestimate, right?
That was excellent. Good match all around. I think that was very competitive, but you know, in the end, you can see the skill from Slob and Buzzworthy just really overcoming there in terms of how they were positioning themselves, using some of those powers to grind and keep them off of those nodes.
Right,
you know?
making good use of lesser, you know, like Bane's Rock, for example. Good utility power for just slowing down. Slowing down your opponent.
And even early on there, they got a very aggressive, came off that front node and intercepted both of them, like in between the front node and the spawn point once they got up there. So really, really clever strategies.
Yeah, I think after that the first set of knockouts, they pretty much were out for blood. Yeah.
All right, so now if you look at our bracket right now, you can see we have Slob and Buzzworthy going up against Daddio and Mathalos. On the bottom bracket, we're looking at Eminence and Smile versus Bryce Allen and Jason Todd. So some really good teams coming into the finals here right now. I know Slob and Buzzworthy going to keep this going. We're going right back to them in this bracket, facing Daddio and Mathalos. I think they're probably going to stick with their same characters, I would imagine. We'll see how that goes. Good countering going on in that last match, too.
Yeah, there's very good reads going on.
Now, last match, we saw Daddio and Mathalos definitely had a few missteps in terms of the barrel hunting and camping on that back node. They can't afford those kind of mistakes in this match.
Yeah, it's really on now. We're coming down to the best players, and so this should be some pretty amazing matches. I bet.
These are the 4 of the top 5 seeds in the match in the finals or semifinals here. Not surprising at all, and really showing off what Legends PvP is all